Hey, what is up? I am Travis, or otherwise known as Twisted Guns. Today we're going to be listening to Lovebites' Judgment Day. This is going to be the second Lovebite song I listened to, the first being We the United. I've been told this is a bit of a heavier song, so I am interested in getting to hear it. So, yeah, without further ado, Lovebites' Judgment Day. Oh, this is heavier already. Oh, I like this already. Music like this gets me energized, gets me amped up. I like it. I love her voice. I love that each guitarist is getting their own time to kind of like show off a little bit though. I like that. Such a beautiful voice. god. Man, they really kept that energy up through the whole song, didn't they? Yeah, I like that song. I like that song a lot. That was a good song. That was a good song. It was a much more energy driven, much more fast paced. It got you amped up. I like that a lot. And Asami, she has such a unique voice that I try to compare a lot of artists. Well, maybe comparing artists, some people might not think it's a good thing, but I try to compare like Japanese artists to artists that I can kind of relate to, that I kind of grew up with. And she has such a distinct voice that I can't really compare her to other artists that like I grew up with. So like she's in her own like category of like female artist with her voice. I mean I can't compare her. She's unique in her own way, and yeah, no, she's a great singer. She's got a strong voice and it's very distinct and different, and I liked it. Yeah, this was a much more energy driven song. I like songs. I use like different genres of music to usually try to get different like energy or feelings from. Like I listen, like a lot of my rap music is like sadder stuff. A lot of my rock is like, bob your head to. Like my metal and like heavier stuff is like it's more like energy and so a lot of like Japanese music that I really gravitate towards are like more like energy driven, like upbeat type happier music that kind of gets me like going kind of like that. And this did the job. I like this. I like this song a lot. Now, in my last video, We the United, I know you guys recommended a lot of songs by Lovebites. Now, being a new channel, I got to get ahead of the curve. I try to do one video a day. I'm a few days ahead, but once I get like 2 weeks ahead, then I would love to start like throwing in maybe 2 songs a day here and there, 2 reactions a day. And Loveblades has a lot of songs you guys recommended. And if you guys recommend more Lovebite song, like I'm happy to react to whichever one is recommended the most or whichever one has like the most upvotes, because I'm probably going to be on the Lovebites train for a bit. I like this band, and like the welcome that I got with the last video for Lovebites, it was overwhelming. I mean, it was my 5th ever video and you guys over 600 views. I was like, wow. I was shocked. I was shocked when my Jaluka hit 50 views in a day. I was like, that's like big. And then you guys hit like 600. I was like, Jesus. So, yes, please do recommend more Lovebites. And I'm happy to go with the next Lovebite song that's like the most upvoted or the most recommended. So, but we're going to jump into the lyrics because I like kind of putting myself in the artist's shoes and kind of getting a perspective on what I feel the song might be about, or at least try to relate to the lyrics in some context. Never live, never die, never end, nowhere to go. Every night, everywhere, everything arriving in darkness. Okay, so that already kind of gives a little bit of a darker vibe. What is right? What is wrong? What is sin? Who's to decide? Hide and seek, truth or dare, playing tag, chased by evil. Okay. So, this already kind of gives me more. Yeah, okay. Arriving in darkness, chased by evil. So, it already kind of gives me an ominous type of, like, idea that this is what the song might be about. Now, Judgment Day, when I think of the term Judgment Day, I think of more like biblical kind of reference, from like more of a religious standpoint. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm kind of getting. Another back and forth, gaining and losing, running out of time, each tick of the clock's taking down piece of my life again. Okay, so my interpretation of that lyric, running out of time, each tick of the clock's taking down piece of my life again. My interpretation of that is like the grains of sand, in a sense, like, you flip it over and you see the grains come through the hourglass. It's kind of like that's your like life ticking away, and nobody knows when that clock runs out, so Yeah, that's kind of the sad reality when you think about what life's about. The moment of birth, at some point, there's an end point to your life. You know what I mean? And every single day, every hour, every minute, every second, you're just getting closer to that. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of sad when you think about it. Yeah, it's kind of a sad reality. But, that's the only guarantee in life is, you're gonna die. Yeah, that's kind of my interpretation of that lyric. It's a little ominous. Who's allied, who's against, who's to pay, I'll wait it out. Up and down, in and out, left or right, answers are nowhere. Who's allied, who's against? Who's to pay, I'll wait for it. Okay, so who's allied, who's against? That kind of makes me think about, like, you don't really know who to trust. And that's kind of the sad reality is, like, people can kind of put on whatever persona you want, but you don't really know who's like a friend or an enemy. And yeah, and that's kind of a sad reality. Now, who's to pay? Maybe in the context of it being Judgment Day, I when I think of Judgment Day, I think of like mythology when I was in high school or in middle school. I think of there was a reference. I think it was Horus. It was your heart was weighed against a feather, I believe. And if your heart was heavier than the feather, Horus would eat your soul. Or no, was it Anubis? It might be Anubis. It's probably Anubis. Yeah. Anubis would eat your soul. And so it's kind of like, and then we use it in like, current times, which, when you go to heaven, like, were you a good person? Were you a sinner? And, it kind of makes me think of that. Who's to pay? I don't know that, and, in the context of like Judgment Day, kind of like, holier than thou, a religious figure. Up and down, left and right, in and out, answers are nowhere. So you'll never know. You know what I mean? I feel like that's answers are nowhere. Maybe I'm just thinking of that very literal. What do you see in this world full of insanity? When do we come to ask what's awaiting us? Don't look away, this is the truth. When do we come to ask what's awaiting us? My interpretation of this is, in this world full of insanity, when do we come to ask what's awaiting us? It kind of makes me think of the afterlife. The afterlife, nobody exactly knows what happens when you pass on. Some people say that, they've seen themselves out of body experiences. Other people say that's, a trick of the brain, so on and so forth. And, nobody really knows what happens when you pass on, you know, and when do we come to ask what's awaiting us? I mean, that's the thing is people ask what's awaiting us all the time. But, the sad reality is you just never know. I don't know, that's kind of my interpretation. Some of these lyrics, you got to kind of sit there and you got to kind of think more on a deeper level. I try to give you like my interpretation kind of right here and right now. And sometimes it's not always accurate. Sometimes I got to look at these lyrics more in depth and kind of think to myself, from different angles on like, do I really think this? Or maybe it means something more than what I'm thinking. But no, I do like lyrics that kind of make you think. Yeah, it really shows the depth that the artists had when they were writing the song. And I like lyrics that make you think like this. Rise, this is Judgment Day. Life given the foreverness. Given the foreverness. I don't think I've ever heard that word, foreverness. Rise, this is Judgment Day. Life living every story. Traveling in the past, find salvation. Now with the great will, the path lay in front of me. Starting here, this is the day. See, this is one of those things I was talking about. Like this right here, I'm gonna have in my own time to try and decipher this. In the past, find salvation. See, these are lyrics that I have to kind of, I want to sit there and think about. Yeah, okay, from a more like spiritual standpoint, Yeah, I like lyrics like this. Never live, never die, never end, nowhere to go, every night, everywhere, everything arriving in darkness. When do we see this world full of insanity? When do we come to ask what's awaiting us? Don't look away, this is the truth. Yeah, so I like this song a lot. This song had so much more energy, and you guys did say that this song was going to be a lot more energy driven, and a lot more energy filled, and you guys were right. Of course, you guys were right. You guys are part of the wolf pack. You guys know Love Bites. I enjoy this band, and you guys, I mean, this song was way different than We the United. Both beautiful in their own way. This was more energy driven. This was more energy filled. It got me excited. We the United was such an uplifting and beautiful song. I love the messaging. The messaging was phenomenal. So I appreciate both these songs in different ways, but in the end at the end, they both were great songs, and I liked it. So I just want to say that I am on the Love Bites train. You know, I'm part of I'm on the Love Bites journey, and yeah, dude, definitely recommend me the next Love Bite song you want me to react to. I'll react to whichever one has like the most upvotes or the most recommended. I'm be on the Love Bites journey for a while, so yeah, recommend that to me. And I just want to say that I appreciate everybody that viewed the last Love Bites. It was definitely overwhelming and very surprising. I appreciate all the kind things you guys said. I appreciated like the views. Some of you guys subscribed. I appreciate that. That was for my 5th ever video. To me, that was like overwhelming. You guys were super nice, super good people, and yeah, no, it was definitely very overwhelming. I'm like blown away by the reception of We the United, and I hope that this reaction did it justice. I'm still new to the reacting, so I am trying to. I'm hoping that I'm getting better as time goes on, but I definitely hope that this reaction did it justice, and I appreciate the support that I got in the last video. And yeah, as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Later.